working with Wes Anderson, he's such a unique voice, such an individual auteur, that it's not easy to comprehend how all these things are going to come together. He knows it. It's as if all of us provide a jigsaw piece and we focus on our one little shape and how it fits in, and we present it to him. He's the only one who has seen the picture of what he's making, and it's in his head. We haven't seen the box on the outside of the jigsaw puzzle, and so we don't know exactly how it's going to all come together, but he does.
He also gives us, before we even go to the set, he's giving us images of what the movie is, the feeling of the movie, and then he gave the song, the music that he's going to be using. So he's starting to feed you the mood of this movie before, as well as reading the script. So yeah, I mean, he's immersing you right from the get-go in the whole vibe.
My reaction was a little different. I didn't fully appreciate what we were doing until we started to do it. And I understood where, what the idea was, read the script, had seen but as we were doing it, I felt this kind of building momentum, and it was like kind of a general, growing consensus that, wow, this is kind of special. This is something, there's more here than is seen at first level. And there was I found a kind of magical quality that was building into it that really began to explain the more poetic sides of the film, and I quite enjoyed that. And it was ultimately it culminates when you see it on screen. But even as we were doing it, it was adding things to my understanding, from the first time that I'd read it.
We rolling?
Rolling.
I think when you're sitting across from, Tom Hanks and Liev Schreiber and, any person on this list, you have, it's crazy. Look at the cast. You have Willem Dafoe there. Tomorrow Ed Norton's arriving. You're like, what? This is just insane. So I think it actually kind of equalizes the whole experience because we're all so excited. Like, I remember when I was there, it was like, oh, Willem Dafoe is coming tomorrow. And I was like, Willem Dafoe is in this movie? Oh my God, that's so exciting. And then the next day he was sitting next to me at dinner and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Or,
so cool.
Suddenly somebody would arrive, like Liev had just left, or, it was really fun.
Yeah.
Where you're in the gym of the hotel and like Jeff Goldblum's on the Stairmaster or whatever. It's just crazy.
No, he's building a stage in a sense, or a frame for the picture. So he's giving, okay, this is the house. Inhabit that. And the house is your character. It's a set of, this is where I'd like you to be. And if you watch the film, and I was seeing this you see everyone has their own individual style within that, and their own individual personality that they exude through that. So obviously he's a very specific filmmaker. He creates a very specific composition. But within that, there's individuality that comes, as he describes, from what we bring to it. So, everything that we do as actors, no matter who you work with, in what medium, there are limitations to your choices. Wes's are Wes's that he provides because he wants to create a certain aesthetic. But within that, you can find a freedom. And that's the joy, is to find that freedom within that, because at the end of the day, you're like, I don't know entirely what this is, but I trust Wes, and it feels like it's gonna be something interesting.
Okay, check the gate, and now let's put the whatever we're gonna do.
You read a Wes Anderson script, and I could not write what he writes. I don't have his sensibility, but I am in awe and appreciation of his sensibility, and I want to be a part of the group, the little piece of my puzzle that tells that story.
But the story, the characters are so particular and well drawn, and whether they're on screen for 10 seconds or the whole film, I feel like there's a tangibility to who that person is, which then is met by the quality of the actor playing them. But I don't know. I felt like they're so also clearly drawn. Yeah.
completely agree. It's like reading, reading a movie. It's like watching a movie, but you only got words. Images start to form, and you start to hear the music of the lines. It was so to me, Montana was just a sort of, I don't know, long lost brother of some sort. I'd always not really known, but always loved.
That's the thing that I find exciting about Wes as a filmmaker is, yes, his kind of signature visuals, but the language. There's probably more words in a Wes Anderson film than in practically any other film being made. It's all there, and he wants you to. He doesn't want you to really stray. So there's not a lot of improv or kind of making things up as you go along, and that would be frustrating. But you get a sense when you read it of the specificity of the architecture of the language, and things are there for a reason. So you want to respect it. So it's all there, and he's obviously, as everybody's described, has very specific ways he wants you to bring it, and that's usually rapid, quickly. I had some ideas about the tone of the voice, which I tried, and then Wes wanted something. Interestingly, he wanted something that was more of a performance, like a performer, like this guy's he's an actor, and so I said, oh, okay, yeah.
This is his moment.
Yeah.
Did that help?
It did. It gave me a clarity,
I think that's really interesting.
And in this case, he's an actor who's kind of given, kind of not the greatest performance. He's an actor playing a guy who wants to be an actor, but is not necessarily an actor.
I think the point is what Adrian's character says when Jason's actor is struggling with his motivation and what it's about, and Adrian, there's this beautiful moment where he doesn't touch him, but he touches him with his words and just says in better words than this, don't think about it too much, just tell the story, just keep going. And Bryan Cranston spoke very beautifully about that today at the press conference. It's like our lives. We don't actually know what's coming next. We don't really know why we're here or what we're doing, but we keep moving forward and we keep meeting wonderful people and making good work that we can be proud of, and that's enough.
I feel like that scene harkens back to the scene with Ed Norton in the very beginning and Jason, where Ed just looks at Jason and he goes, oh, you're perfect.
Yeah.
And watching, Jason step into his character and say those lines and look like, if you're right for the part, you're right for the part. And everything that's wrong or funny about you, everything you don't understand, all the pieces you can't make fit, that is the character. And that's so beautiful.
We're actors playing characters, and my character is a movie star who's preparing for a role. And so it was actually it was strange. It was actually almost kind of 3 people, because then she also performs this thing. That's another thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had I forgot about that too. And so we actually had many discussions about we actually also talked about the role she was preparing and what that thing is. Wow. So it's like a lot. You have to do like a lot of, it was a lot of conversation with Wes, because it was just like, we had a lot of questions.
I wouldn't say Wes has changed. I think he's found greater clarity in exploring the way he loves to tell stories and the way he sees things, and through that very specific lens. I feel like he's really gained a sense of mastery with himself and a sense of freedom and comfort with his work, and it's evident in his films. They're more elaborate and more elaborately constructed, and each film is very different, so you can't generalize, but I feel like he's grown.
Not everybody understands, or they understand it to the extent of their own personal relationships. We don't understand life.
And even the director of my character in the film is saying, "That's all right. Just do it.
Yeah.
You got it. Just go with it."
And sometimes that is life. You don't quite understand everything. You still have to get up the next day and put yourself out there.
Moving over here, and
we'll wrap it up with a final bit of applause as I get off the stage. Thank you. And you guys can applaud yourself. You're doing a great job. Thank you. It's been hot, but we got the shot.